Hey there everybody, Pop on Top here. Welcome back to some more Fallout 4 mods. In today's mod we got a new weapon here. This one, right here. It's got a cool little pull out animation, cool little put away animation too, if I want to show that off real quick. But this is the Homestead Carbine. This is an early game 9mm carbine. It's based off the Henry Homesteader. Apparently, I thought this was like an old gun, right? Like it's like an old style gun. But this is actually something that just released recently. I looked it up on the internet, right? Like an actual Homesteader 9mm. They literally advertise on the Henry website, from bedpost to fence post. What's yours remains yours. So, you know, you defend your property with this particular 9mm carbine here. That's what the real. This gun came out recently. The mod author does say it came out in like what 2023. So it's a modern gun. This is a modern gun. It's a 9mm, so that does require munitions to function. Because it obviously adds 9mm ammunition to the game. Just like quick little semi-auto. Got a really small, I guess it's a magazine still, because it's 9mm rounds. It's not that, you know, the magazine wouldn't have to be that big. There's a little bit of weird issues with this, and the mod author doesn't know that this is a thing, but you're not quite holding the gun correctly, right? Like your hand's not touching the gun. You can see like blue sky between my hand and the gun. Like it's just kind of like floating in there. We're like holding it just in case, but it's a 9mm rifle. Like it's not going to kick that much. You don't have to really grip it. That's my headcanon excuse for the things. It does have really clean looking iron sights here. The texture quality is pretty good. Nothing amazing, I would say. It's got some definite low resness to it for sure, right? Like when you look down that and you can look at the metal texture there, it's not particularly great, but like I think it holds up well enough. Sounds all right. So yeah. You can find this weapon started at like what, like level 7 or something like that on gunners, raiders, in your shops, and you know, so on and so forth. I bought it from Sheffield here. I have another different version of the gun already that I bought. This is muzzled advanced, right? So like a little bit different glow sights on there, right? We're gonna show off all the attachments and stuff here, but we'll show off that I can buy it from Sheffield. We go over here to weapons. There might be like an advanced version, depends on what level you are, right? But you're just looking for Homestead Carbine. I got Recon Advanced here, 2 of those, right? Like, so you can find it there. That one does look, you know, it does look quite different though. Like even some of the textural stuff looks different on the different variants. We'll see what kind of attachments we can put on here. It's supposed to be an early game weapon because it's 9mm. It doesn't do a lot of damage. We'll show that off here too. This is maxed out, 257 with full rifleman perks. I'm imagining rifleman applies here. 33 rate of fire though, 203 range. It's a pretty good all-around weapon. It's just the damage might be a little low. I'm a high-level character here, so we'll obviously get to how effective this becomes late game, right, against tougher enemies. But we'll see what we can do with it. Obviously, this is just the base version we currently have here. So we have pretty basic, I guess, receivers-looking things here, right? Advanced is probably the way to go, 115 damage. You can do rapid if you really want to go for that kind of style. You can see here, due to my HUD mod, that you can see that it does actually lose DPS though. Just the increase of fire rate does not compensate the damage loss. You can do a short barrel for better AP cost, which is interesting if you really want to go VATS crazy on it. I always love the style of weapons where you can do that. You can do extended barrel for worse AP cost. So it's not even a little, it's just a little bit more range for a barrel. That's like got better recoil, it says. I guess this is longer range barrel. This extended barrel doesn't have better recoil. This is better recoil. This is worse range but better rate of fire. So maybe you can see if you really want. I mean, it's only 3 rate of fire though. It's really not that much, right? And you lose a lot of range. But the DPS does increase because you don't have to lose any damage that way. You can at least do that way. And then a marksman barrel. So this is for better range and accuracy. It doesn't say anything about recoil though. So is it shrouded the only way to go for recoil? I don't think the recoil is really a problem here with this gun. It's an interesting thing. Let's put this combat barrel on there for right now. Standard furniture, comfort furniture, better AP cost, worse recoil, better AP cost on the light furniture. Heavy furniture, worse AP cost, better recoil. I'm not really worried about recoil. Better accuracy and stability. It's not, I mean, maybe. But let's like put the light furniture on there. That's like dark color. I like the look of that already. So we can put an extended magazine on there because we already had like what, 10 rounds? 10 9mm rounds is not very many. And then we could put a quick extended mag on there. They did show off on the Henry website, the official website for the real gun, that you could put like a Glock mag in there. That's kind of great. I just think it's great. Let's put some improved glow sights on there for now. Compensator muzzle brake flashlighter. Improved per shot recoil, improved recoil control, reduced range. I don't like muzzle booster, but is it better per shot recoil and increased rate of fire? So like we could get even more fire rate here with this. And then a suppressor, which lowers a lot of the stats comparatively to the muzzle booster, which is worse, right? And then the heavy suppressor, which doesn't cost any range. No range debuff as it says there. But we put a muzzle boost on there, and you combine that with some fire rate things. So 12 rounds instead of what, 10? Or was it 9? You can shoot that pretty quick. It's like bursting, kind of. It's doing some weird shit. Like I can shoot it, like that's me tapping the trigger at a fairly regular rate, like if we're talking about a rhythm here. pretty quick. I'm gonna try to do it again as fast as I can, but it was kind of like feeling like it was bursting because I was shooting it. Right? You see that? Like it's like I don't know exactly what that rhythm is for the fire rate. But I'm like, you can hear me on the controller here tapping that trigger as fast as I can. I haven't even made it as fast as I could, but it's like the weapon's struggling to keep up. And 12 rounds is not a lot. That's a quick eject too. The reload still looks a little jank too. Some of the animation quality and stuff here is a little bit weird. I do like the general concept of the weapon though. So let's put that rapid receiver on there. Fuck it. We're just maximizing fire right now. Let's put a sight on it. We can put a laser sight on it. That's pretty cool. Reflex sight. I mean, the thing about it is we get all these things to increase like or decrease AP cost, increase fire rate and stuff, right? So we have like how many shots in VATS? 6 shots in VATS. If we put a longer scope on that, I don't think we'll get that. That's maximum fire rate. It feels like it's bursting though, right? You guys can notice that, like it's like that's about, maybe that's the maximum fire. Maybe I'm just overachieving fire rate and it's like skipping or something. But if we put like a longer scope on there, which I'm sure, you know, works just fine, right? Like you totally do like a short, medium, long, and then you got night visions and recons and everything. Let's put a long scope on there just to see what it looks like. We get really, I mean, we obviously get really good accuracy, but we lose 2 shots in VATS for that. Is the cost. Long scope doesn't look like a long scope. That's where the recoil is becoming a problem, right? Like when you have a scope, definitely recoil control. So something like that would require a different set of combination. Obviously, you probably could snipe with it. You go with like advanced receiver. I mean, maybe you could go, if you really wanted to worry about VATS, you'd be like calibrated. Maybe that'd be worth it. But you want to do like marksman, stock. Still, the quick extended meg is always the way to go. And then you can put like the heavy suppressor on there. And then what else? The like marksman barrel, right? Worst AP cost. We're just going for like, it doesn't matter about the cost because we're gonna one shot things as the goal, I guess. You still get 4 shots in there. The long scope made it 4 shots. It's 4 shots anyway. So yeah, that's a lot more. I mean, it's still got some recoil to it for sure, but like it's not like shaking the shit out of the whole screen. Suppressed noise sounds nice. Long scope does look nice, right? You can zoom right in there. It's still got a pretty quick rate of fire though. Like I said, that rate of fire increase, even from all those attachments that did that kind of function, weren't really adding too much to the weapon in terms of the fire rate. And I don't think that's worth it necessarily. I don't know if marksman barrel's worth it. I'm trying to think about all the things, right? Like, because you can combine some things. You can still do the combat barrel and then marksman furniture and then like do different stuff, like a little bit more rate of fire. But I don't know if you're going to notice a 3.3 increased rate of fire. And the recoil is definitely worse, right? Like, and you still get that like weirdness where like you can, I don't know, like overshoot, like over tap the trigger on that. That's a weird one. Because you could just make better AP costs with the light furniture and then like put the marksman barrel on there. Or like the shrouded barrel, maybe with the best recoil control on there. Still 230 range because the heavy suppressor doesn't reduce that. Long scope helps with the range and accuracy stats. Quick extended magazine. Light furniture for a little bit better AP cost. We'll see if it actually matters. Shrouded barrel for recoil. Advanced for maximum damage. That might be the way to go. I really like the look of the weapon too when it's all blacked out like that. It looks really sick. So how many shots do we get now? We get 5. So we get an extra shot just from the fact that we got the light furniture on there. It's a recoil crystal control. I mean, it still does that weird chunky thing. The shrouded barrel, I mean, the recoil is supposed to be better on that, right? But it's definitely like 2 bursting. It's doing some weird shit. Like you can definitely shoot it 1 shot at a time, but you start pulling the trigger really fast. I don't know. I like the look of this particular weapon. Now, obviously, this is all advertised as early game, and if you could get it early game, that's pretty cool. I forgot to look here. What is a requirement to start making this gun good, right? Like, what does an advanced receiver require? It's still gun nut 4, so it's not really. But I mean, all the barrels at least are gun nut 2, so you can do that pretty early on in the game. Immersive furniture, like some of the stuff 2, gun nut 2. Some of the harder scopes, gun nut 3 on the long scope. But most of the scopes, the short sight, reflex sight, laser sight, all that stuff you can just make off rip. Heavy suppressors, gun nut 4 too, though. Gun nut 3. Like, so to make this is supposed to be like kind of the in-game version. If it requires gun nut 4, this is the in-game version of the gun. Now we're going to test this one out in some combat. I'll do some VAT shooting. I'll do some third-person stuff. It should be fine. I mean, it just looks a little bit weird, obviously, because I don't think those third-person animations look too bad, though. I'm just shooting it. Like, obviously, I'm not going to aim down sight while doing it, but it would work. It looks fine, though. Like, the reload, all this stuff holds up well. We'll do some combat testing. I'll see you guys when I get there. Alright, everybody, here with some combat. Now, the thing to test about this is because it advertises itself as an early game weapon. Let's see if it holds up against some tougher enemies. Now, there's usually super mutants over here, ghouls over here. There's usually a suicider up in there. Now, let's see how it it does. I mean, it takes 2 shots and knock him over though, but that's... Yeah, it's definitely not particularly good at killing high-level enemies. That was a weird little lag there in the scope. The hipfire here is pretty good. And you can spam it. Like, that fire rate's still pretty good. I don't think you would ever shoot it as fast as you could. Let's see some bad shots. That guy's behind the wall. You want to hide? That's fine. You hide. Let's see if we can find some more targets to shoot. They usually like to head up here. Yeah, there we go. And then we get 75 on the head with all his long scope set up. And you can get a pretty decent amount of shots. I don't know how I'm missing so many 75s, but that's still pretty good. It like functions as a sniper rifle, but it's still almost like a combat rifle. It's like a hybrid between the two. And it shoots 9mm ammunition, which is fairly common even in munitions terms, right? It's a light little bullet that you're doing a pretty good amount of damage with, I would say. Like, considering that what the combat rifle shoots .45, right? That's usually what it does. I don't know, like, you know, munitions, because, you know, if you do that with vanilla weapons and all kinds of different stuff you could do with that, but I do like the look of the weapon, too, besides the fact that you don't quite hold it correctly, but, you know, it's not too far off where I feel like it's really messing with my view of the things, right? I'm trying to, like, feel that fire rate. Like, it's just, like, it does get real jumpy in that scope, but in that fire rate of the hip fireness, like, it's pretty good, but that's a tough, tanky overlord boy, and he did eat some shots, right? Like, it's going to take a lot of bullets to kill high-level stuff. Now, the blood bug way over there. Accuracy is not, I mean, through a fence and stuff, but let's see if we can hold our breath and take a manual shot. It still took 2 shots to kill a blood bug, and they're pretty soft. Let's go find these ghouls over here and see if we can work with that. The animations aren't perfect by any means. They look a little bit weird for sure. Like, we're 95 at this point, right? But that's a lot of shots. And if we pop a crit, even then, that one crit didn't kill it, right? Like, I know it's high-level stuff, and it is supposed to be an early-game gun, so this is just something to keep in mind if you do download this for yourself. It's something you're going to use pretty early, but then, like, eventually you just move on from. I pretty much capped it out. And it's still, I mean, maybe a ghoul? Sneak attack? Yeah, sneak attack. I mean, obviously I have a little bit of sneak attack perk action there, so, like, obviously, you know, your particular build is going to be different than mine. Or better, or worse, or whatever, but you can take these little 9mm bullets. I mean, that didn't kill that ghoul, though. 1 shot to the head. It's a headshot. It does actually even bonus damage, right? Yeah. It hurt him. Pretty bad. But these are ghouls. They're pretty solid. I mean, they're gangrenous, and so that's a high-level version, but it's still a pretty good gun. It's solid overall, but I don't think it's really going to last you into the late game. Like, where my character is at, like, level 70 or fucking something like that. It's really high. But it does... I think the weapon textures hold up decently well, and I think there's a decent amount of variety there. I wish the fire rate boosting attachments increased the fire rate even more, and you had a whole different style of weapon, like a really spammy one. And the extended magazine doesn't really make it that much bigger. Like, it's 9mm rounds. Why couldn't you just get like a fucking, like, humongous, like, 17-round Glock magazine? And, right, like, fuck it, right? Like, I don't know, right? Like, I don't know why it's capped at 12. Scopes function well, though. It seems to aim down sight well. The little bouncy, like, burst, like, rate of fire thing is a little bit weird, but I think it's a solid weapon overall. And if you're looking for something in the early game, because I know there's not, like, most of the game wants you to be like, here, use a pipe rifle, and you don't want to use a pipe rifle. They're not fun to use. So you could use this instead. Something like this would be pretty cool to use early on in the game. Obviously, if you had access to munitions and 9mm ammunition and stuff like that. I don't know exactly, you know, like, how well it is to find. I always craft myself munitions rounds, but, like, if I don't know how actually easy it is to find that kind of stuff. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think of the Homestead Carbine down in the comment section down below. It does make sense that it exists in the game, right? It's a real life gun. It's a 9mm defend your house with this thing, right? Makes you on the side of your bed. A burglar come in, you just put 10 9mm rounds in their ass, and they're probably pretty dead. I mean, you know, it might take all 10, because obviously see the damage is a little soft, but it does work. You guys let me know what you think. If you do want to check out this mod for yourselves, make sure to check out the top link in the description. There'll be a link there to the Bethesda on that page, or the Nexus mod page. You can download this mod for yourselves there. If you guys have enjoyed the video, like the video. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe so that we can check out more videos from me. And pretty much other than that, you guys have a good rest of your day, or whatever it may be, and I will see you in the next episode.